What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 23 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got one pick wrong and got 23 right, which is a 95% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 95% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 95% win rate and get 23 picks right like me, win more bets or receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $500 just yesterday, and another member who won $90 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Justin Lott B1B, who said I won 300 last night, so shouts out to him. Shouts out to X Juno, you came in clutch bro, and also shouts out to Rando Fellam Human here, who said WWW. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. Now guys, I do want to just make a no-brainer statement here. The Nikola Jokic 0.5 points. If you can use this pick, definitely use it. It does get capped off at a certain amount, but you definitely want to use that. It is a no-brainer. He is definitely going to go above this one. So this one's kind of a gimme pick, so definitely don't miss out on that one. But getting into the real first pick, I would say we're going to be talking about Aaron Gordon. Now, Aaron Gordon has definitely been up and down when it comes to if he's going to play in this game, but if he is playing, we still do have a great pick for him because we have Aaron Gordon for 5.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now, as I mentioned before, guys, we do know Aaron Gordon has potentially hurt his hamstring, and he is potentially out for this game. Now, as of right now, he is expected to play. Now, anything can change, but this still is a great pick. Now, when we look at Aaron Gordon, we actually have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on May 8th, faced off against OKC, where he had 5 rebounds there. Then on May 10th, had 8 rebounds. Then on May 12th, had 16 rebounds. May 14th had 5 rebounds, and then on May 16th had 7 rebounds there. Now, when we look at someone like Oklahoma City Thunder, it's definitely been an interesting time for them. Now, looking at Aaron Gordon, we also do see that Aaron Gordon does face off against Oklahoma City Thunder again, and this one is an important game because this is actually Game 7. Now, looking at Aaron Gordon, we do know Game 7 is definitely going to be, a big game for both of these teams, and because of that, that is a big reason why Aaron Gordon is looking to push through and try to be able to play for this game. Now, looking at OKC and Denver, we do know OKC did finish off the Western Conference with the #1 spot and had a 68-14 record. They actually had an 82.9% win percentage, which was fantastic to see, and they also finished, very well during the regular season. So, they actually had the best record in the whole league as well. So it definitely does put into situation just how strong that OKC team is. Now, looking on the other side of things, you also see Denver Nuggets, who also did a fantastic job. Now, they actually had a record of 50-32, which was a 61% win percentage, which I thought was great to see. So they also did a fantastic job. Were able to get that 4th spot and secure themselves a playoff spot. Both of these teams definitely have had a very good playoff series. Both very hard fought as well. Thunder did actually face off against, the Memphis Grizzlies, which they were able to beat pretty easily. Now, Nuggets, on the other hand, did actually go to a Game 7 against Clippers, where they were able to take them down and move on into the next round. Now, talking about this as well, you do also also have to remember, not only is this important because it is a game 7, but also on top of that, you do also have to I do also have to mention that when it actually comes to, Aaron Gordon and the Denver Nuggets and OKC, whoever wins this one will head into the conference finals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So definitely an exciting game there. Now looking at Aaron Gordon, we do see him do a very good job, but Oklahoma City Thunder do actually rank 20th when it comes to rebounds allowed. Now, why do we like the under for this one? Now, a big reason why we do like the under is that when it comes to Aaron Gordon, he does play the forward position, and we have actually seen when it comes to the starting forward position, we actually see OKC do a really good job at restricting rebounds. Now, they do a little bit worse when it comes to role playing or second unit type rebounding for the forwards, but when we look on a per position basis, we actually see OKC do a great job, especially against the starting forward. Now, on top of that, Aaron Gordon, even if he does play, you do also remember he is injured, and we definitely are taking that into the consideration here on why we do like the under for this one. Aaron Gordon may play very, very differently. He may not be able to bounce, high as much as he used to, in a sense of, being able to grab those boards very high. And because of that, it can definitely affect his usage rate. And we definitely have seen this already happen with MPJ. Michael Porter Jr., great player, but he has injured his shoulder. He is trying to play through it, but he just really hasn't been the same. His scoring hasn't been great. His efficiency out there hasn't been great. So because of that, we are expecting a similar situation and a similar outcome for someone like Aaron Gordon coming into this game. Now, also looking at Aaron Gordon against Thunder during the regular season, we definitely have seen some interesting games. We saw on October of the 24th, we actually saw him have 9 rebounds there. So he actually did do, a pretty decent job in that matchup. And then on the 9th of actually March, we actually saw him only have 2 rebounds there. So he has only versed them twice. However, we do like the under due to the situation, for this game here, because like we mentioned before, Aaron Gordon is coming to this game not really 100%. And unfortunately, we don't really see him being the same Aaron Gordon that we always usually do see. So, for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon, 5.5 rebounds for less. I think it's a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Luguentz Dort. Now, as you all know, Dort, great player for, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when it comes to OKC, they definitely have done a fantastic job all season. But this one is a great one for points, rebounds, and assists, or PRA. And this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Dort, we've actually seen him go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. Now, this has definitely been interesting. We see on May 8th, they faced off against Denver, where he had 13 PRA there. Then on May 10th, faced off against Denver again, where he had a 10 PRA. Had an 8 PRA on May 12th. May 14th had a 16 PRA. And then on May 16th had a 13 PRA there. So we have seen him go on the under, like I mentioned, in 4 out of the last 5 games, which is interesting to see. And his average over the last 5 is also 12, which is significantly below this line. So even the games that Dort has been able to get very close, he hasn't really been able to make it on the over. He has gone on the under quite consistently, and because of that, we do very much like the under for this situation here. Now, when we look at Luguentz Dort, we also do see that Luguentz Dort has definitely had just a bit of a cold streak during this whole series. Denver have actually done just a fantastic job at actually restricting him in all facets, but we will get to that reason very shortly. But looking at Denver Nuggets first, we do have to say that Denver Nuggets do rank when it comes to points allowed. They rank 25th. When it comes to assists allowed, we actually do see that the Denver Nuggets do actually rank, pretty low as well. They rank 29th, and then rebounds allowed, they rank better as they rank 6th. Now, a big reason for this is that Denver is actually doing a fantastic job against restricting Dort. That's because Denver actually do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position, or the position that Luguentz Dort is. So, we definitely see someone like Dort continuing to go on the under in this next game. A big reason for this as well is, like we've mentioned in the past, when it comes to Game 7s, it's a very crucial game. And what you tend to see is that star players in that Oklahoma City team will probably have a lot more usage rate and take away from, the supporting cast, whether that's Dort and others. So, although Dort has already had a bit of a cold streak as of lately against Denver, we definitely see that continuing on due to the fact that star players like SGA are definitely going to be a big facet, which could actually, restrict the team or restrict him specifically, as SGA or even other star players in this team may take away from, Dort's usage rate. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. So looking at Luguentz Dort throughout the regular season against Denver, we have seen some pretty interesting stat lines. We saw them face off against each other on October 24th. We had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So it did go under on that line. Then in the next game, they faced off again on the November 6th, where he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and also 3 assists there. They did a fantastic job in that matchup. Then next matchup after that was again on March 9th, where he had 6 points, 6 rebounds, and also 3 assists there. So, we actually have seen him do a decent job. And then on the 10th of that same month, we saw him have 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 0 assists. So, like we mentioned, only one of those games is on the under while others are on the over, but we are still sticking to the under due to the scenario and situation that this game definitely holds. You do also have to realize, like I mentioned already, Dort is on a little bit of a cold streak, and we are expecting that to continue, especially in a game 7 with other players like Chet, like SGA taking a lot more of the usage rate away from him. So we may not see Dort out there as much as we are expected to, so you could also see a reduction in his minutes. So it's definitely going to be an exciting game, but it's definitely going to be a crucial one, and that's why we don't see Dort being the main player for this roster, when it comes to this game 7. So for that reason, Luguentz Dort, 13.5 points, reps, and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Nikola Jokic. So obviously, we talked about the gimme pick, but this one is still a great one for Jokic as well. And you do also have to realize, guys, there is only one game for today, and it is this game 7. But looking at this pick, this one is for 8 assists, and this one actually is for less. Now, look at that Jokic. We've actually seen him go on the under consistently, because he's gone under in all 5 of the games, with one of them being a push. Now, we see on May 8th, they faced off against OKC, where he had 6 assists there. May 10th faced off against OKC, where he had 6 assists in that matchup. Then on May 12th had 3 assists, then 5 assists on May 14th, and then 8 assists on May 16th. So we have actually seen him go on the under in 5 out of the last 5 games. And when it comes to someone like Jokic, we do very much like the under for this situation here, due to a number of different reasons. Now, getting into the first one, we do see, we have mentioned already the matchup between Thunder and Denver, but Thunder do rank 4th when it comes to assists allowed. So we definitely have seen him do a fantastic job, all season. But when it comes to against Thunder, we definitely have seen him struggle. And when it comes to, Thunder in general, they just do a fantastic job at restricting assists. And also in this series, it's definitely been one of their main focuses, as they are trying to stop Nikola Jokic as much as they can. Now, obviously, it is tough sometimes to stop one of the best players in the world, but they are still doing their best, because we have actually seen him go on the under consistently, with his average over the last 5 only being 5.6. So we definitely see that being a huge plus there. Now, when it comes to this matchup as well, we also do see that Nikola Jokic, over the last couple of games, we have seen some interesting stat lines. We saw that on the 24th of October, he actually had 13 assists against OKC, then faced off again in 6th of November. In that matchup, he actually had 16 assists. Then on the 9th of March, faced off against them and had 9 assists there. Then on the 10th of that same month, off a back-to-back, he had 8 assists in that matchup. So we only saw him go on the under in one of those games, but that one game being a push. But like I mentioned, this is game 7. This is the playoffs. It is a completely different bowl game, as teams are definitely focusing in on coming up with strategies, defensive strategies at that, to try to stop the other stars team player pretty much. So in that case, OKC are putting together different sort of strategies, different sort of defensive focuses to try to slow down Jokic as much as they can. And we definitely have seen them do a great job at that so far. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for someone like Nikola Jokic. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So Nikola Jokic, 8 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is the delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Aaron Wiggins. So as you all know, Aaron Wiggins, great player for none other than the Oklahoma City Thunder. And as we've mentioned throughout this whole video, obviously the Nuggets face off against the Thunder, but we saw Aaron Wiggins during the regular season actually do a fantastic job because he actually averaged 12 points, 3.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, while also shooting 48.8% from the field. So I think he did a fantastic job there. He also ranked 96th when it came to points, 115th when it came to rebounds, 144th when it came to assists, and 39th when it comes to field goal percentage. So we definitely have seen him do a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Aaron Wiggins, we definitely have seen him be in a pretty good position, not just throughout the playoffs, but also during the regular season. And Oklahoma City and the Denver Nuggets, the series will come down to this game because it is Game 7 between Nuggets and Thunder. Now, just to reiterate again where both of these teams have been, going when it comes to standings during the regular season, we actually did see Thunder finish with the #1 record in the Western Conference with a record of actually 68-14. So that at 82.9% win percentage. They also finished off, this season with a 4-game win streak. And then Denver Nuggets also finished at 4th with a record of 50-32. And they also had, a really good 3-game win streak to end the season with a 61% win percentage. Now, when it comes to the other side of that Western Conference table, we do see the Minnesota Timberwolves did finish off, the Golden State Warriors. So the Golden State Warriors are completely out. Timberwolves are waiting for their next matchup, and it will be one of these teams, today. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game. Whoever wins this will head to the Western Conference, finals. So it's definitely going to be a big thing with one more round left until to the NBA finals. So looking at the Denver Nuggets and Thunder, this game definitely does mean a lot to both of these teams. Now, looking at Aaron Wiggins and also where Denver do rank, we did see Denver Nuggets do rank in the regular season, like we mentioned, 25th in points. Well, we said 29th in assists, and also when it came to rebounds, we also did see them rank 6th. So, they actually did do a fantastic job in rebounds, a little bit worse in points and assists. Now, when we look at Aaron Wiggins, however, we do actually like the under for this situation here. Although Denver have actually done a pretty poor job in points and assists, a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here is due to the fact that it is a Game 7 situation. Now, the reason why that is important, what we have noticed time and time again is that when we look at Game 7 performances, we tend to see a lot more of the star players and starters have a lot more of the usage rate. Now, unfortunately, and no disrespect to Aaron Wiggins, Wiggins is actually in a position where he does come off the bench and he isn't really a star player or even a starter at that. And that's why coming into this next game, we do very much like the under for this situation here. His usage rate, not just throughout this series, but also throughout the playoffs, has definitely been up and down depending on, what kind of severity the game is in. But with so many other big players in this Thunder team, whether it's Chet, whether it's SGA or Caruso, we may actually see someone like Aaron Wiggins go on the under in this situation here. Now, looking at also, the matchup between Denver and Oklahoma City Thunder, coming into this next matchup, obviously Thunder do have the home court advantage. So although that is a bit of an advantage, we don't really see it being an advantage for Aaron Wiggins, and we definitely do see him playing more of a role player type position coming into this game. Now, looking at the last 5 games, we've actually seen, Aaron Wiggins actually play decent minutes in the majority of those most recent games. We saw in Game 2 against Denver where they won 149-106. He actually had 10 points and 5 rebounds, but 0 assists there, and he played 15 minutes in that matchup. Then in Game 3, we actually saw him have 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists with only 13 minutes of play. Then moving on from that, we also saw in Game 4 had a 92-87 win with 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 0 assists. And then in Game 5 had 3 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound with a 112-105 win. Then in Game 6, they actually ended up losing, which forced the Game 7, but they lost 119-107 and had 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist with 12 minutes of game time. So we actually have seen his minutes decrease as the series has gone on. And a big reason for that is due to the fact that Thunder are going to be relying a lot more on their starters and on their star players to carry them, over this game 7 and get them that win. And I'm talking about players like Chet, like SGA, all these players, not necessarily saying that they're going to get all the stats or anything like that, but more of the minutes that will be played. I doubt Aaron Wiggins will be seeing a lot of minutes, in that 15 to 16 minute range that he has played in some of the games this series. We are expecting him more in around that 9-minute to 12-minute type range at times. So, the starters are definitely going to get a lot more of the minutes. Now, depending on the usage rate on how they do on the floor, that's definitely for the other picks we're going to chat about. But, overall, we do like the under for this one. So keep an eye out for Aaron Wiggins' line. We see a lot of value there to go on the under, especially if the line is too close to his averages. So keep an eye out for it. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Peyton Watson. So Peyton Watson is a great player for the Denver Nuggets, as we all know. He has done a fantastic job all season, and during the regular season, we actually saw him average 8.1 points, 3.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, while also shooting 47.7% from the field. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at his ranking throughout the regular season, we actually saw him rank 150th plus in points, 146 in rebounds, 150th plus in assists. So he's actually done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Peyton Watson and the Denver Nuggets, they face off against Thunder in this game 7. It is definitely going to be an exciting game, but looking at actually, Oklahoma City Thunder and where they do rank defensively, we have actually seen them do a decent job because they actually came in at the 3rd spot in, points allowed, 4th in assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. They ranked 20th. So, they do very much struggle, when it comes to the rebounding sector. Now, when we look at someone like Peyton Watson, we may actually also see him get a little bit more minutes due to the fact that Aaron Gordon and also, Russell Westbrook are projected to be out for this game. Now, although Westbrook is a guard, we think overall we could see Peyton Watson maybe get a little bit more minutes than usual. But when it comes to Peyton Watson, we do still like, the over, but strictly just for rebounds. And a big reason being is that Peyton Watson does play that forward position, and we definitely seen him have some great rebounding games against not just Oklahoma City Thunder, but also against just weak rebounding teams. Thunder do struggle at restricting rebounds to the forward position, and we definitely could see him go on the over in this one. His line isn't too high when it comes to it, or what we are expecting. His average is only 3.4, so it isn't really that high. So seeing him go on the over is only really a couple of rebounds, which can definitely be possible. Now, like I mentioned, when it comes to injuries, Aaron Gordon is still, projected to try to play. So it's still kind of up in the air whether he will play or not. If he doesn't play, I definitely see that being a huge boost to Peyton Watson. But if he does end up playing, Aaron Gordon in general, we definitely see someone like Peyton Watson going on the over on his line. So, I think this one's a win-win situation, whether Aaron Gordon does play or not. Even if Westbrook is also out, I definitely see that affecting, the usage rate in the rebounding department. And we could see Watson get a lot more rebounds, with some of these players being injured compared to, if they were to play. But overall, whether they are healthy, whether they do play or not, we still do very much like the over for this situation here, due to the fact that Thunder are just a poor rebounding team. Now, we definitely have seen some pretty interesting games when it comes to actually Peyton Watson over the last 5. We saw in game 2 where they lost 149 to 106. He had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 0 assists in that matchup. Then in game 3, had 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 0 assists there, with a 113-104 overtime win. Then in game 4, had 2 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, with a 92-87 loss. And in game 5, had 3 points, 8 rebounds, and 0 assists, with a 105 loss. And then in game 6, had 119-107 win, with 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So we definitely have seen, Payne Watson's usage rate in the rebounding be up and down at times. Some games he does really, really well when it comes to grabbing boards. Other games he doesn't. But coming into this game 7, we are expecting him to be an integral part due to the fact that even if Aaron Gordon ends up playing and Russell Westbrook are playing, we could even see their minutes even restricted, which could give Watson a lot more floor time out there. So, either way, we definitely still see it working out in Watson's favor. But like I mentioned, guys, strictly just focus on rebounds, see where the line is at. Like I always mentioned, if the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about another great Nuggets player, and that is Julian Schroeder. So, Schroeder, great player, absolutely showed out in the most recent game and really did help them get that game 7. And when it comes to Julian Schroeder, we have seen him do a fantastic job also during the regular season, because he actually averaged 9 points, 2.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists, while also shooting 43.2% from the field. So he has definitely done a fantastic job during the regular season. We saw him rank 149th in points, 150th plus in rebounds, 150th in assists as well. So he has done a great job there. Now, looking at someone like Julian Schroeder, we do see this being a very, very good situation, because, Schroeder is in a situation where, like we mentioned just with the last pick, Russell Westbrook may potentially be out for this game. Now, if he does end up playing, or even if he doesn't, we see Schroeder actually being a bit of a great role player and a great role-playing type lead coming into this game. Now, looking at OKC, though, how, like we mentioned, we did see, when we look at a team like OKC, they rank 3rd in points allowed, 4th in assists allowed, and then in rebounds allowed, we see them ranked 20th, like we mentioned. But when it comes to Julian Schroeder, although he did have a great game last game, we do actually see him going on the under in this situation here. A big reason being for this is due to the fact that when it comes to Julian Schroeder, and like we mentioned with a lot of these other picks, when it comes to Denver Nuggets, this is a game 7, and they are going to be putting their star players on as much as they can, and the star players are more likely to take a lot more usage rate away from, role players like Julian himself. Now, Thunder also do a fantastic job, especially against guards and especially against role-playing type guards. Their second unit, Thunder's second unit, is a great defensive team as well. So we are expecting them to cause a little bit of havoc to Julian Schroeder, especially with the limited amount of minutes and also limited amount of usage rate out there and ball touches he may get. So for that reason, we do very, very much like the under for this situation here. Looking at someone like Julian, we also do see over the last 5 games, he's definitely had some interesting games there. In game 1, he did actually end up playing and had a 121-119 victory with 2 points and 1 rebound. Now, he did only play 6 minutes in that game. Then in game 2, we saw him actually, have 9 points, 1 assist, 0 rebounds in 14 minutes of play with a 149-106 loss. Moving on from that, had 0 points and 0 rebounds and assists with a 5-minute game time in game 4. So he actually didn't end up playing game 3. Then game 5 still had 3 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist, where he had 10 minutes of game time. So, pretty decently there. And then the most recent game, he absolutely blew up and really did set the tone and help them get that win and force a game 7, because they won 119-107, where he had 15 points, 2 rebounds, and also shot 75% from the 3-point line. So he had 20 minutes of game time played there. So Schroeder was definitely being the big hero in that matchup. And although, they really have him to thank to get to that game 7, we think in this next one, we should see some other players actually take, a little bit more usage rate away from Julian, which could lead him to the under for this one.